Hey guys, welcome back. Origami here, bringing you another one of our live deck profiles today, people. Let me start this music over because I want to get the beginning in here. All right, let me do that real quick. All right, cool. We're doing Blacephalon, baby Blacephalon for that matter. A deck that loses a lot, but still can fare pretty well versus the tag team matchups that you're expecting to see. So that's the whole game plan for today's video, is to show off why Blacephalon can, or not today's video, because this is not like a live PTCGO video. This is going to be your deck profile for the deck matches that you guys saw in the video either yesterday or the day before, depending on which order I decide to upload these. So we all know what baby Blacephalon is. This is going to be a fairly short deck profile, but I do want to talk about all of the decks that I think are pretty good and how this can pair up versus them. So you guys saw that this deck is all about getting those energies into your hand so that you can discard them using that second attack Fireball Circus, which lets you do 50 for each energy you discard from your hand. It is a 3 energy attack cost though, which means you always have to account for that as well. Because unlike before, we don't have Wishful Baton and we don't have a experience share anymore either, which means there's not really that many easy ways to just, keep those energies flowing. You're gonna have to use Welder a lot, which is not a bad thing per se, but it's definitely not as good. My original drafts of these videos before I started playing Wishful Baton was like this as well, and obviously with the Wishful Baton it's so much better, but we can still make this work because honestly all you need is a welder. You can chain them pretty well. You got Jirachi, you got Pokegear that can help you find welders every turn. You can shuffle them back in with the likes of Palpad and just draw and draw and draw until you manage to get your welders, attach 2 energies and then attach 1 manually and then discard the rest in your hand and then get them back with other cards. So we are playing 4 of these. We got Blazer here, which is a great way to put things in range sometimes as well, and if you get lucky you can flip over that fire energy, but it also lets you look at your prizes essentially. Like sometimes when you just don't have anything to do, you might as well Blazer, figure out what prizes you're going to take or what prizes you're not going to take. We're playing 1 Blacephalon GX just because Burst GX is a great attack just for immediately taking a prize. We can also use Mind Blown. Sometimes it's just pretty helpful. If this thing ends up becoming your active Pokemon, then you could just welder onto this Mind Blown, and welder onto this Blacephalon, use Mind Blown. Sometimes Bursting Burn is an attack we use to stall a little bit longer as well with the Burn and Confusion, but we mostly play this for the one of Burst GX attack. And we're playing 2 Jirachis. This is one I want to bump up to 4. Right now it's only 2. There's another card, there's a few other cards in this deck I would like to play. Mainly I would like to play a Mew, because as we saw in that matchup, Mew could be pretty useful. Mew also has a 1 retreat cost, and Psi Power can sometimes put things in range to where you only have to discard 1 less energy using that second attack, Fireball Circus. So Mew is definitely an option in here. As far as what I would cut, not super sure yet. Like just in general, I'll cut like I guess a Judge Whistle, just like to start with, I suppose. But yeah, we are playing the Mew, we are playing the 2 escape boards. Maybe you can play some switches too, cut some Judge Whistles for that. But as you guys saw, Judge Whistles come in clutches to help you cycle through your deck even more. So I don't really like taking out any item-based draw in this deck. So I would probably avoid taking out the Acrobikes and Judge Whistles. Maybe take out something else, but sometimes you want a switch in here. But for the most part, 2 skateboards seems to be doing the job perfectly fine. You are still a single prize deck, and as long as you have a Mew down, you shouldn't be that worried. The problem is you don't have a way to search the Mew. You don't play treasure or anything like that, which is why I'm not playing the Mew currently. But I mean, you could always just dig until you find it. Maybe play like 2 Mews. I don't know. We're not playing Pokecom, which is why I haven't played Mew. It's also why I'm only playing 2 Jirachi, just hoping to find them as I play the game. And for the most part, because we cycle through our decks so much, we have been able to find them. As you can see here, we are playing 4 Acrobikes and 4 Judge Whistles. These help you a lot in just going through your deck as quickly as possible, because the game plan is to just find your welders, right? Dig out those energies immediately to put them in your hand so that you can use your Fireball Circus for as much damage as possible. And I need to, let me turn that repeat on, repeat all, there we go. Turn this music back on, there we go. So discard your 2 cards to get 4 energies out of your deck. Not only does this help you get energies into your hand, but also thins your deck by quite a bit, which helps you whenever you're using more of these draw spores, whenever you're using Jirachi. We are still playing 4 custom catchers. Between Jirachi and your constant digging, it's actually pretty easy to find them. I am playing 1 Energy Recycle System. This would probably be the 1 card I would cut if I were to test a Mew, but Energy Recycle System has been super clutch a lot of time. I'm using this over Energy Recycler. If you guys remember what Energy Recycler does, it lets you shuffle 5 energies back into the deck. You could play Energy Recycler, but the versatility of Energy Recycle System has been the most useful for me. Energy Recycle are still legal in format because you have the secret rare, but shuffle 5 basic energy from your discard pile into your deck, is pretty good. This one either lets you shuffle 3 back into the deck or put 1 into your hand. Sometimes that 1 back into the hand has made a huge game-winning difference, which is why I am playing as an energy recycle system on top of the 4 fire crystals, so that you put 3 energies back into your hand. So that's what I'm doing right now. 4 Judge rules, like I mentioned earlier. We're not playing Judge. You could play Judge. I'm just choosing not to. We don't have the space for it. 1 Pal Pad just to shuffle back in our Welders, because that's the one thing I found that I need to be playing at least 6 of is Welders. So having the Pal Pad is pretty useful. 4 Poke Gear, 1 Heat Factory for a +3 draw when discarding energy. Could be useful. You generally don't want to discard energy. I was originally playing Salazzle and Ninetales in these deck lists, but discarding energy is just not exactly intuitive with this deck's playstyle. Like beforehand, we had energy retrieval as well, which you get 2 energies back into your hand, which is pretty helpful and could let you play cards like Salazzle or Ninetales or any other techs you want to play. But without energy retrieval, we don't have a way to get back these energies. 4 fire crystals is just simply not enough, which is why we play the 1 of energy recycle system. So discarding energy is what you don't want to do, but Heat Factory usually only stays on the board for 1 turn because your opponents will most likely bump it, and then you can just draw and help you dig those combo pieces up. But we are playing 4 Ultra Spaces. It's just like a nest ball for this deck. We don't have nest ball anymore. We don't have any other way to search Blacephalon, so Ultra Space is what I'm choosing to use to search Blacephalon. English is hard. But yeah, 1 turn training search an Ultra Beast, so pretty good, especially if it sticks. But for the most part, you're kind of treating it like a nest ball. 1 Brock's Grit to shuffle back in the energies and the Blacephalons. Usually you want to shuffle back in maybe 1 Blacephalon. I very rarely shuffle back in Blacephalons though, because by the time it gets to late game, I want to put the energies back in my deck so I can use Fiery Flints again to give me another 4 energies, and that way I can take a knockout. But for the most part, Brock's Grit, unless you had a really bad early game and your opponent kept knocking you out over and over again, I generally only shuffle back in 1 or 2 baby Blacephalons, and then other times they're usually taking a knockout pretty consistently. 4 Welders, 2 Skateboards, and 15 energy. I will tell you this right now, I was playing a bunch of different cards in this deck over the 15 energies. The second I went to 15 was the second this deck started working out really, really nicely. I don't think you can go below 15. I tried 12 at first, and I kept adding 1 energy at a time because every game was going well until I ran out of energy cards. So as it goes, right? So I would run out of energy cards little by little by little until I realized I needed to play more. So I'd add 1, play another game, add another one, play another game, add another one, and then I got to 15, and then it worked out marvelously. So 15 is the number I want to stick with when it comes to playing energy cards in this deck. And as far as the matchups go for this deck, your hardest matchup is definitely going to be Giratina Malamar. But other than that, like most other decks, you do really well versus. Pikarom you can beat because you're still a 1 prize attacking deck, but I do want to play the Mew for the Pikarom matchup. Slowpoke and side deck, I'm just going over the videos I've uploaded. Real quick, Gardevoir you can beat because you still blow them up. Of course, you have to try to set up as quickly as possible, but if you can knock out 2 Guardies, like usually they're going to give you prizes for the Miss Magius. So if you can knock out 2 Guardies, you win the game. You only have to discard like what they have 26, so you have to discard like 6 to take a knockout. Not too bad. You can do that twice with ease. Mewtwo box you can generally knock out. They don't have a lot of cards that prevent you from taking damage, so as far as from non-GX attackers. So Mewtwo Malamar or Mewtwo box is pretty good matchup. Let's see. Blacephalon GX, you can win for the most part. They can always do the thing where they like confuse you, like confuse and burn you. And if you can't retreat, they can just attack your bench with Naganadel GX if they're playing the Naganadel GX version, which is my personal favorite version. But that could be problematic for sure, which is why the Mew will once again come into play, because Beast Box, because of Naga's sniping, can be really annoying for that exact reason. Just status conditions for this deck is tough because you don't play Switch, you play Skateboard. You're gonna have to use those Skateboards for Jirachis. You don't want to use them for the Blacephalons, but like that's like a one of those scenarios. What else? I mean, Dark Box you can beat. They don't have a lot of non-GX stackers. They usually only have like 1 in the that can OHKO you, which is the Darkrai Prism. But any deck that relies on having a tag team in the active should be a pretty decent matchup if you can just set up your board, which is just a matter of can you find your Fiery Flints and Welders, which is, once again, because you have so much item-based draw, it's not going to be that hard to do at all. Definitely give this deck a test if you guys have not tested it already. See if you like it. Obviously, it's not as consistent as it was before, but as the sets go on, we're going to get more cards that can make this deck even better. So I'm really excited to see the future of Blacephalon. This deck will always be a threat. As long as there's a cake pop in format, it'll be scary. That's all there. That's going to be the end of the video, guys. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. Subscribe, share, all that good jams. Answer the comment question today being, do you like Baby Blacephalon more, or do you like Blacephalon GX more? You guys know that Blacephalon GX is one of my favorite decks, so. And let me know which one you guys like more for a chance to not only win a booster box thanks to our lovely sponsors like Guardian Gaming. Ooh, I got the new computer. I have to put the logo back up here. I'll do that next time. I have to put the logo back here though, so you guys can see the lovely sponsors. But thanks to them, they're giving us not only Unified Mind codes to give away to you guys, but also Unified Mind booster boxes. Now, where is this picture? You guys are gonna have to sit with me as I find this. This actually should be in my Origami folder. Where's my documents? Here they are, Aura stuff. Where is the lovely guard? By the way, guys, if you guys don't know, 10% off when you order there. Oh, you know where it actually is? I think it's in my downloads. So I don't think I've ever moved it from the downloads folder. Here it is. Boom. Guardian Gaming. Gotta love them. Anyways, see you guys next time. Peace.